I really learned a lot from my family. If my family hadn't had signing, I think I'd have been quite dopey.
In Philip's case, he's gone deaf, and before I used to be depressed about it, but now I'm looking at it in a positive way, and it's no more a stumbling block, but rather a stepping stone towards Philip's achievements in the future.
Philip is 12 and goes to a deaf school within a large comprehensive. He became deaf after meningitis when he was 3.
Philip was a hearing child. He was growing up normally. He was talking and he was okay. And then all of a sudden his hearing was gone. I thought that was it. I was going to die. In fact, there was a point that I said I was going to kill myself and kill Philip as well. We'll both go together, because I couldn't stand the rest of his life seeing him. And I remember one of my sisters-in-law, that his dad's brother, was saying, "Oh, I will have him. I'll have him if you don't want him. I'll have him." But I said, I didn't really mean it that way. All I meant was I want Philip to go back to where he was, the hearing child, because he was so handsome, so beautiful, so pretty. Everybody thought had got a lovely child, and all of a sudden he'd lost one of his senses.
Well, everything was normal up until she was about 9 months old. When she wasn't making any noises, she would literally sleep all day and night if you let her. And then she kept having hearing tests, and they said, "Oh, she's not paying attention." It was one to about 14 months old when actually diagnosed as being profoundly deaf. It was a bit of a shock, to say the least. We were all pretty distraught. I remember sitting watching telly and just sort of crying for no reason, really. Hello. Didn't understand until I had Ashley and realised she was deaf. I didn't appreciate some of the things that you take for granted. It's being able to communicate with people.
Where you been?
Ashley is 11 and goes to a deaf primary school.
Sam's gone. It's not like at the caravan. Did you tell Mummy you done disco dancing?
Sharon, she's at dancing, not Nanny. We actually learnt from Ashley, really, most of the time. But I'm trying to get on a signing course because I don't think I'm fluent enough to deal with someone older. But my mum and dad, we all got a basic knowledge.
Don't go near her. You want to sleep with me? No, because I've got to go to work in the morning.
It's very difficult for a grown-up to learn a whole new language. And sign language, British Sign Language is an entire different language. In fact, it does say British Sign Language, but it's got nothing to do with English. It's a totally different language. What you want to say, what I'm saying now, if I were to sign it, will be something else, something different.
On Saturday, are you going to watch the football?
What team? Is it the team?
Team. What's he saying?
He's fed up with you because you don't understand him. You have to be learned to be patient. Why? Because sign language is difficult, very difficult.
I really can't be patient.
No patience.
I can't. No.
What? No? Listen, Philip.
Will you be coming to watch me play Latimer next Saturday?
Yeah. Would you want to watch?
If I'm not playing, because I might be playing, I don't know yet. Because I'm playing at Luton on Saturday, so I don't know.
Going away together on an activity weekend gives the children a chance to develop their own culture. 90% of deaf children are born to hearing parents, so from the beginning communication can be very difficult. Sign language can create a bridge between deaf and hearing worlds. Deaf children just want to behave like any kids anywhere.
Right. Now tonight it's time for storytelling. Who's got the first story they'd like to tell? Okay, Philip.
Storytelling plays a powerful role in the deaf community. So the first evening at the youth hostel was full of the children's tales of the day's events. Most cultures have a strong oral tradition of storytelling. For deaf people, This tradition is developing through sign language. Charles Hampton is a deaf entertainer. His stories enrich the children's experience of language itself, because many deaf children have little access to such creative forms of sign language. This is the beginning of a long story about a small boy at the fairground.
There's this man, all dressed in white, standing behind an icebox. What was he saying? Ice cream, yes, ice cream. And the children are milling about in front of him, and he says, "Who wants ice creams?" And they rush towards him, and he says, hold on." And they line up, and he asks the one in front, "What do you want, strawberry?" He scrapes it out and takes the money. There's this little boy, looking pathetic with his chin on the counter. He's serving the other children, and there are 4 left. He says, "Right, do you want an ice cream?" And the child says, "That's not enough." So he gives him another dollop. He says, "Thank you."
Ashley wants to reassure her mum she's arrived safely. The Minicom is a lifeline. It's a text telephone where the message is typed instead of spoken. The countryside opens new worlds for these urban children to explore. But most interaction with hearing people needs interpreting. How can you ask questions if no one understands your language?
Right, about 50 or 60 years ago, when this man was 7, artists came to paint the inside of this church. If you look up there, you see the boy with the green jumper with the round neck. That's him. Is that true?
If you were the model for the boy there, who did they use for the model of Jesus? Was Jesus actually there to be the model?
Every Sunday I go to church with my family. I don't understand what's being said. No one signs for me. I get bored. But today was interesting. It was different with signing. I was talking to the vicar and I understood.
That's sweet Sicily. You can eat this one. Don't eat this one. Don't eat this one. Just rub it.
Hold this, I'll explain. Yes, it's sage. What do you mean, you want to clean your teeth with it? How? A long time ago, before they had toothbrushes, people would use sage to clean their teeth. Is that right? Yes. Go on, show him. Right. You see this one here? This one was used to clean ears before they had cotton buds like we do now. So it's a very early ear cleaner. Right, this one was used for scraping the tongue. You'd scrape it along the top of the tongue. What, like scratching? Yes, that's right.
Use the wire to make it flat and shape.
The human face and the human form is the key to deaf communication. So not surprisingly, the children's art workshop became an exercise in making life-size puppets.
I think this looks like a real person signing. It feels really good.
Tomorrow the children return to their different schools. In Britain, some schools teach through sign language, others are oral and teach primarily through spoken English. The children have their own strong views.
This is what I'd like. Hearing schools where the teachers teach how to sign, and deaf schools, like mine, where we sign and are taught to speak. But I don't want them separate. I want them together. I want all schools to be the same, to use sign language. That way, deaf and hearing people are together. Hearing people now discount deaf people, but perhaps my way, there'd be better job opportunities for deaf people. Do you know what I mean?
I'm now a head teacher of a school for deaf children, and it's not a special school. It's a primary school for deaf children. We want to be based, in a sense, that our philosophy is to be based very much on the mainstream idea of providing a full national curriculum.
This head and his staff are developing teaching through British Sign Language, believing that only when children are equally fluent in sign language and English will education standards rise. The national average reading age of a deaf school leaver is currently 8.5.
Language is the key to academic success and to knowledge generally and to empowerment of the individual. It gives control to a person over their own lives.
What I want is normal life as possible for Ashley, and to be able to do things she wants to do and not be held back because she is deaf.
Many deaf children who are regarded as bright still leave school achieving very low levels, and they leave secondary education with few exam passes. So how would a bilingual approach, how would the use of BSL change that? If we had a natural BSL environment from nursery up, and especially in the early years, and we provided it with deaf staff providing natural play in a nursery environment, for example, there would be no barrier for a deaf child to then learn language and become fluent in that language.
There is currently no clear national deaf education policy. The schooling a child receives will depend on the attitude of their local authority. Ashley's school is involved in a research project on the use of video phones for deaf people. Here she's discussing her options for secondary schools with a friend across London.
Have your parents decided which secondary school you'll be going to? Have you visited schools? Yes. Oak Lodge and Ovendene Hall? Ovendene Hall? I don't know that one. Are you going to Oak Lodge? I really like Oak Lodge, but I'm not going there. I'm not sure why. Sorry.
Parents and children feel they have to choose between options that are not ideal.
I'm going to an oral school starting next September. I'm a little unsure. I'm worried that I might lose my identity as a signing deaf person and get more of a hearing identity. That worries me. I'm not sure about going to an oral school.
Well, Ashley wanted to go to a deaf school, but we've talked about it. Because we don't have any other deaf people in our family, and she mixes with a lot of hearing people and children, I felt that she could cope within a hearing school that's got a unit.
My mum really wants me to have a good life, an easy life. For example, if I carry on at a deaf school, it might be hard to get a job, qualifications and so on. But maybe the oral school might make life easier for me. That's not really true. It's a very good school. They've got everything. The problem is, it's an oral deaf school. I wish they had signing there, but there's no equivalent school that signs. There's no choice. You pass the entrance exam.
Philip goes to a deaf school within a large comprehensive, where half his lessons are in sign language, and acquiring good English language skills is seen as essential.
What's her full name? F-R-E-I-S. We don't put it here. The full name we put up here. E. The O is wrong. E. Oh, E. Sorry, my mistake.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you for showing me round Tesco.
I joined a band and they didn't have a drummer and we were all friends, so they said, you be the drummer, because I could go like this. Okay, band question. How many people are in the band? Four. Two singers, one drum,
One singer,
one singer,
one bass,
one bass,
one guitar,
guitar,
and one
and one drum.
cello.
Oh, cello.
Just, if you touch, the sound is very short.
Music plays a strong part in youth culture, and deaf children want to be at the heart of it. So the deaf school organised a drum workshop with Barney, who's the drummer from the Auteurs.
Like clap. Okay, clap.
Worship your mother and father. Honour your mother and father.
The other half of Philip's school day is integrated with hearing classes, where deaf children receive sign language interpretation of the lessons.
Is it bad to kill? Is it bad? It's bad to kill? It is bad. Yeah, it's bad because there'd be fear in everyone's heart. So killing each other is wrong, it's bad.
Philip said if somebody killed his mother, then he would take revenge and kill that person. Is that wrong?
Serafina said it.
No, Philip.
Philip said it. Well, good one. Is that wrong? Well, if you think about it, if you look at these Ten Commandments, there's nothing here about vengeance, is there? And you could quote a part from the Bible that says that God says vengeance is his. But there's also a legal system that's developed after this, whereby if one did kill one's mother or father, as you put it, then the legal system would deal with that person.
When I first started having deaf kids in the class that I taught, it made me aware of two things. First of all, of the language problems that deaf children have. I never really thought about it before because I've never experienced being in a situation with deaf kids and having to teach them. And also it opened my eyes to the whole sort of new dimension of sign language, which I hadn't known anything about.
Right, to start with, we're going to learn the names of some of the different lessons that some of you all go to and some of the deaf children go to with you. So we're going to start with the lesson today, which is geography. All right, I want to see everybody doing it. It's a G, and then it's like tracing the world, geography. Okay? Next lesson is geography. Okay? What's the name of the lesson before geography? The name of that lesson? R-E, okay? So you can sign either R-E or just R-E, right? Okay, well done. Can you tell me the names of some other lessons? I can't remember. Yes. Someone who hasn't answered yet. Can you think of any more lessons? Go on then.
No.
Good. Maths. Yes, Chloe? Music. Well done. Some of the deaf children do go to music. Okay.
Also makes them aware of a whole new dimension called signing. I mean, quite a few kids get into sign, especially young ones, and you often see children in this tutor group, for example, go in there and sign in between themselves. So I think that schools nationwide should give it serious thought, and if they've got the resources, establish what we've got here.
When I first came to the school and I knew we had deaf children in our class, I really wanted to learn how to communicate with them better, because I didn't know much sign language. I only knew sort of the alphabet, which I'd learned in my old school, but I really wanted to learn more.
It's better than other lessons.
Why?
Because it's more interesting, and you learn about sign language and you know how to communicate with others. Then like geography, you just do worksheets.
What changes in attitudes would you like to see? You've had problems with hearing children in the past over communications. What things do you want to change and improve? I feel much the same as you do. I want to see hearing children learn sign language. It isn't fair deaf children have to learn speech to talk to hearing people. Speech, 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 all the time. But hearing children don't learn to sign. What about us? It's not equal. We learn to speak so as hearing people can sit back and say, oh yes, I understand. But why aren't they learning to sign? It's got to be two-way. Deaf children learn to speak, hearing children learn to sign.
But Ashley is the type of child that you can go out in the street, and most of her friends are hearing, and she's actually taught them as well. So they've all got basic knowledge, and I think their mums are quite pleased that they can actually communicate now with someone who's slightly different.
When I first met Ashley, Dee learned me sign language, and so I knew by Dee, Ashley's mum.
There's someone looking at us through my window. Your sister said you said your mum's crazy. Are you going to see our friend? In 6 weeks, maybe we'll go on holiday. I think you can come too. I'll ask my mum. I like to sit around in a group with my friends, talking about how we feel. What makes us sad, miserable, and what makes us happy.
These two children don't even think about a language barrier, so they ignore it. With proper resources and a national commitment to sign language, think what could be done.